I've found the best controller settings for you to laser players like this, hit easy snipes out of the sky like this, and I'll even be revealing every possible way to get lower delay on your settings so you can do builds and piece control like this. These settings even work on mobile controller. And speaking of mobile, this is 1v1.lol. You've probably seen streamers play this game during downtime, but I bet you didn't know that it's actually on mobile too, and it's completely free to play. It's a battle royale game that has all kinds of different modes to play, from solos to duos and even limited time game modes that are pretty cool. Personally, I just like going with the showdown, which is your typical battle royale, the last person to survive wins. And it's one of the most popular games on the App Store with 80 million players, and they're even collaborating with FaZe Rug, Unspeakable, and even Booga with their own custom skins you can unlock for completely free. Those are only available until May 8th though, so it's limited time if you want to collect those skins. Now, as far as how the game works, I've actually been getting into it. It's pretty fun. It's a similar feel to what we know as far as like building and combat goes, but the games are actually way faster with a maximum of 16 players in each lobby, which I actually think is way more fun for mobile because it's all action. And a part that I really like is you actually get rewarded for being experienced. So in this, you actually upgrade your weapons and then you spawn with your loadout already equipped. And maybe the coolest feature of everything is that each champion has their own unique abilities. So like one of them is jumping super high, one of them's dashing around. There's like 9 or even more unique abilities, and you get all this for completely free to play on mobile. Literally anyone can play, from noobs to pros, so try it out by downloading it with the link in my description. If you want to, you can even connect a controller and play that way. It's pretty awesome. Again, the link to download is in my description, and it's also in all of the app stores, 1v1.lol. Now let's hop into these settings that I've been using all season long. So currently I'm playing on my PC, which obviously gives the least delay, but if you are on console, I recommend turning the 120 FPS mode on. I recommend turning your brightness to 150% and turning your colorblind mode over to Triton mode. That'll give you the brightest possible screen, which is really important for console. But when I play on my PC, I just play on performance mode and leave all my graphic settings on default. Then for audio settings, the only thing that matters is to turn visualize sound effects on. Nothing over here really matters for delay. Then I use toggle sprint on, I use auto open doors, mantle activation is on hold jump, and hurdle activation is on press jump. For combat, not a lot of these matter, but preferred item slots are pretty important in my opinion, and this is kind of the loadout I've been rocking this season. Usually a shotgun and SMG. I love snipers this season. They're just so fun to use. And then of course your heals or your rotation, whatever in those other two slots. For your building settings, I use reset building choice on. I disable pre-edits. Now some people say that disabling pre-edits actually gives you more delay, but I'm sort of the belief that a lot of this stuff is just placebo. Like, people think every little tiny thing matters for delay, but I've tested so many of these myths and I've never found a difference. Not in field. I've actually timed the differences. Like, people just get in their heads way too much about these little settings tweaks, and I promise you, you will never actually notice them. You might think you do, but it's not real. It's in your head, and that's why I do recommend disabling pre-edit options, especially on controller. I think it helps. Turbo building obviously on, and auto confirm edits. This is another thing. People think adds delay, but it doesn't. There's pros everywhere that use auto confirm edits, and I mean, the Booga literally uses auto confirm edits, so you can't say it's slow. It's actually really good, and I think it's especially good if you're like a beginner. In my opinion, it makes editing way easier. Now down to the tutorial, none of these really matter, especially for delay, but replays do matter for delay. If you want the least amount of delay, you turn all your replays off. And if we're talking about replays, I mean, another big thing is to not have a ton of friends on your friends list, or to have a ton of pent up friend requests. And if we're talking about delay, I think those things actually matter because they're obviously taking up storage in your device. Now for the game UI over here, I mean, none of this really matters. It's kind of just all preference. This is just what I use. If you want your damage numbers to stack, you turn this on cumulative. Otherwise, I just wouldn't really mess with any of these. I just leave them on the default. Touch and motion, just turn gyro aiming off completely and don't mess with that tab. Definitely don't need that. And then controller settings, I turn controller auto run off. It's just a personal preference again. This setting doesn't really matter. Edit hold time doesn't really matter. Slide hold time, I'll keep around like 0.05 to 0.01, just somewhere in this range, usually around like 0.75, something like that. Pitch and camera, these settings don't matter because we're not using the gyro aiming, which is what these control. Then vibrations are turned off. That's not because of delay, but you don't want your controller like vibrating while you're sitting there trying to aim. That can obviously throw you off a little bit. Then if you haven't already, ready, you do want to come over here and turn use advanced options on. When you do that, that'll gray out these top two so you can't move them, and whatever these are on is fine. People try to tell you that these will still affect your sensitivity, but they don't. I promise. That's just another thing that's all in people's head. Like, people actually go crazy over settings, and it's really not that deep. Well, as far as your build and edit multipliers go, I use 2.0 on both of these, and that matches up absolutely perfectly with the look sense, which is 43% on both horizontal and vertical, and we're just keeping it simple. We're not using any sort of boost on these settings. This is the #1 look sense among all pro players. Almost every pro player settings you'll look at will be somewhere in this range of like 41 to 45 here, so 43 is perfect. And then when you combine that with this build and edit, all the builds and edits just flow smoothly. You can be consistent. It's just great gameplay coming out of those settings. And then down here to the ADS sense, I'm using 7% on horizontal, 8% on vertical. And again, we're just keeping these settings simple, no boost whatsoever. Again, most pros are going to be chilling anywhere from like 5% to maybe 10% here on the ADS sense. So going 7 on horizontal, 8% on vertical, I find to be perfect. Allows you to do everything you need to do. And then down to the look damping time is 0 seconds. Look input curve is linear. Linear is just way more satisfying to play on. I think it's better for 95% of controller players. And then dead zones, this is like a brand new controller, so if I wanted to, I could go down all the way to 5%, but in general, I like to keep it around 10%. And again, here, I think there's something where if you put foot controller off and then set these to both 1%, it lowers delay or something. I mean, you can do it, I guess, if you want, but I truly don't think it matters. And then we have these bottom two settings that are kind of weird in this tab anyway. And then one thing that people swear by and so many pros do is that over here in building, this button, which is switch mode / edit, no one actually uses this button for switch mode and edit because everyone has them on separate buttons. But people swear that if you set this button to something that you never click, like mine would be right on D-pad, I don't have anything else bound there. People swear that it gives you less delay, but again, I don't think it's true. I just don't believe it. So I mean, if you do have a button that you don't use, you can go ahead and set that to that if you want to. But in my videos, it just kind of confuses people with what I edit with, so I'm not going to do that. And I guess the last sort of like console delay helper is actually this sort of glitch that you can do on console, where on PlayStation is actually really easy. You just need 2 controllers, you turn on both controllers, sign into different accounts, and then when you play, instead of all those particles being in your face when you like break builds and stuff, the builds will actually just instantly disappear, and so it gives you a huge advantage. And so that's not really like delay necessarily, but it kind of is, because with all the particles, your reaction time is delayed because you can't see what's happening. You can do the exact same thing on Xbox, which I believe you only need 1 controller for, but you have to sign in to a different account first, and then after you sign into that account, you go and you actually sign into another account, and that's the account that you're actually gonna play. If I didn't explain it well enough, there's video tutorials all over YouTube. But now this is gonna be really interesting. You see, I've actually been on vacation for the past 10 days, and I haven't actually played Fortnite in, I think, 13 or 14 days. So I haven't warmed up or done anything, and let's see, after 2 entire weeks, how bad am I at Fortnite? I can't even lie, this feels insanely weird right now. Oh, I hit my first snipe though. Bro, my aim's already dialed in. Dude, this feels incredibly weird. First triple edit, easy, easy. Okay, is this laggy or is this just me? Oh, easy, another elim there? How crazy would it be if I could win this right now? 2 entire weeks of not playing Fortnite. I haven't even touched this game once. Bro, my game is like laggy right now. It's so laggy. Bro, they're double teaming me here. That's so weird. Bro, my game is actually like lagging. Is this like a glitch now or what? Oh my. Wait, I'm kind of moving right now. I haven't played in 2 weeks. Hello? Who let me do this? 130? Brother, come on. I don't have mats. I just used my last build. Well, I'm not leaving here until I get a win. I don't care. Oh, look at that tracking, bro. I feel like that's kind of how you know that these settings are really good. I mean, not playing for that long, I'm obviously really rusty right now. But even then, my aim is still just dialed in. I'm definitely gonna keep playing. I'll get back and better than where I was before. But sometimes a break is nice, so thank you guys so much for watching.